Yo, what is up guys? It is Alarmix. Welcome back to the channel. As all of my fellow Apex players out there know, they recently added the Shadowfall mode to Apex Legends. So first of all, I'm just going to be going over the mode in detail, but if you want to skip just to the advanced tips part of the video, I'll be leaving a timestamp right here. But anyways, I'm going to get into talking about the mode. So Shadowfall actually takes place back in Kings Canyon. The game starts out with only 35 people, and Kings Canyon is actually completely dark for this. It's a night map. So with this mode, it starts off like any other match would. You just drop into the game, you pick up weapons, but when you die, that's when things change up. When you die in Shadowfall mode, you actually get the chance to respawn. So after you've been killed, you come back into the map as a shadow character. The shadow character doesn't have very much health, but the whole reason that you don't have very much health is because the shadow characters, they're super fast, you can slide really fast, and you can climb walls. As a shadow character, you can drop anywhere onto the map and go after people, say, who killed you, or you can follow these little symbols on the map that show deaths of the shadow characters and of the real people. Honestly, in this mode, I think it gives a chance for good and bad players to succeed. Even if you die, you get a pretty good chance at killing someone else. Quite honestly, the shadow characters, if the person with the gun isn't prepared for them, you can kill people pretty quickly. But anyways, once the players that are still alive reach only a number of 10, then the game will team you up to shoot all of the shadow characters. And with only 10 people left in the game alive, you have to try to make it to the evac ship to win the game. And I think this is where a flaw of the game comes in, because a lot of times when people are shot and they're turned into shadow characters, they just leave. So the number of shadow characters versus real people at the very end of the match usually vary by quite a bit. So when there gets to be 10 people, there can be anywhere from like 5 to 25 shadow characters left, and it really varies every match. But if you still happen to be alive at the end of the match, you have to try to make it to the evac ship. And a lot of times, if you delay too long to get to the evac ship, a lot of times there are a lot of shadow people just sitting there and waiting to kill you. But in my advanced tips, I'm going to be showing you how to get out of some of these things and succeed. So here are the advanced tips. So tip number 1, before you even get into your match, you have to know what legend is best for this game mode. And for my testing and everyone's general knowledge, use Pathfinder. If you're ever in a sticky situation where you're loading and there's a couple of shadow people running after you, your grapple will come in super handy. These people can run super fast, but with Pathfinder, you can do one thing that they cannot, and that's grappling. And okay, let's be honest, Pathfinder in general, he's pretty good for fighting other players too. But also, there are 2 alternatives, but if you don't get Pathfinder, you should target this one other specific legend. This is kind of weird because I hate on this character a lot. So tip number 2, use Mirage. Mirage can be super good for when you have a bunch of people chasing you, and you want to throw out a decoy to kind of weed a couple of people out from the pack. But the biggest thing about Mirage, the most beneficial thing for this mode, is if you're a little bit late to the dropship and there's a bunch of shadow characters sitting there and waiting for people to come, you can pop your ultimate ability and be invisible and get to that dropship zone. The third character that people have kind of got by with is Octane. His speed can be beneficial. Also, his launch pad can be beneficial for making some room between you and the shadow characters. But honestly, even with Octane, the shadow characters are so much faster than you. In my testing, Octane has not been good for this mode, but some people like him. In my opinion, in this mode, you should not try to be aggressive. Because in this mode, if you're fighting another character with a gun and you kill him, that's not the end of them. In most cases, at least for my testing when I'm playing, if you actually end up shooting the guy and killing him, he'll most likely get pissed off and he'll end up as a shadow character just haunting you for the rest of the game. Like honestly, that's how it's been for me. When I shoot someone, then they come back as a shadow character and they just keep on trying to kill you time after time. And if you're running in the open, these guys can land like right on top of you, and if you have level 1 armor, they will just one-hit you. It's kind of dumb. So anyways, tip number 4, land away from everyone. Avoid contact until the end of the game. If you're landing Skull Town, Hot Drop, or someplace right off the ship, you're gonna have this, what I was talking about, happen to you. You're gonna kill someone, they're gonna get mad, and they're just gonna keep on coming after you for the rest of the game. Places that I recommend to land are Repulsor, Artillery, Slum Lakes, or any other more low-key place that you like. If you can spend half of the match just looting artillery, that's perfect. You're setting yourself up to win. So tip number 5, let's talk about the guns you should actually be using. You should not be using the longbow, the Kraber, the Mastiff, not even really the Peacekeeper. In my opinion, in this mode, you should be using full auto weapons. Things like the Spitfire, the R99, the R301, they're honestly great. Like the Spitfire is pretty top tier. If you have a bunch of people chasing you, you can just hip fire this thing and gun them all down. Also, keep in mind, the Wingman is also a one-hit kill. So you kind of have to be good with the Wingman, and I wouldn't prioritize using the Wingman, but I mean, it's not a bad weapon for this. It one-shots the shadows. And the next tip, use the digital threat. With this map being darker and the shadows just being faster, making them a little bit harder to track, the digital threat just makes it that little bit much easier to track. So, saying you followed all of my tips, now you're in the top 10. Now, how do you survive even longer and get to that dropship? Once you hit top 10, all of the players become teammates, and it is highly recommended that you all group up. The shadows will be following the death symbols to find the last handful of people. And if you are alone, or only say you have only one teammate, you shoot someone, it'll give out one of those death symbols, and all of the shadow characters will group up against you on the map. So in my experience, the only way to get to the dropship after you've made top 10 is 1, don't shoot anybody and don't bring attention, or 2, you have to have at least 2 or 3 other teammates. The more the better. And my last tip, know how to kill the shadows. So the shadows have 2 different things that really differentiate killing them from normal players. First of all, the map is dark. When they're dropping into the map, they have super bright jetpack trails. These people can land on top of you, and if you have level 1 armor, they can seriously land on you and one-hit you. So if you're running through a valley somewhere, or you just killed a guy and you're expecting a shadow to come after you, keep an eye in the sky. Also, when the shadows are running horizontally away from you, like I mean they're running in a perfect strafe angle, they're super fast and they're harder to shoot than normal characters. So if you have something like say an R99 or an R301, you have to lead shot the shadows a lot more than what you would do with normal characters. And my very last tip of the video, if you kill a shadow or a character, get out of there. If you kill a character or a shadow, there is a very strong chance that they're just gonna target you their next drop. This is when it's great to have Pathfinder. When you kill a shadow, you can grapple out of there, because when they're flying back down, you do not want them to find you again. This is how attention can kind of snowball and really ruin your game. Anyways, that'll be about it, guys. If you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I do weekly, high-quality Apex videos. At least I hope they're high quality. Anyways, guys, have a great rest of your day.